Human Fall Flat is a platforming game in which you play as a humanoid, blank-faced creature with shaky limb control. To solve puzzles and reach the conclusion of the stages, you'll have to do the best you can with your flailing arms. You'll be chuckling in no time as these small flailing chaps end up looking really ludicrous. You'll also be able to share the laughs and mayhem with your buddies, as up to 8 players can collaborate. The Trials series is littered with motorcycles with dents and riders who have suffered concussions. The Trials games are technically racing games. Many people, however, find it amusing to see motorcyclists flip and crash. Trials Rising is the most recent installment in the series, having been released in 2019. They added a slew of new races to some of the world's most iconic locations, including New York City and the Great Wall of China. The Goat Simulator could be used to prove the existence of God. Depending on how you look at it, or the lack thereof. You take on the role of a goat in this game. While there are physics in Goat Simulator, we wouldn't call them earthly or realistic. Don't be fooled by the title. You won't be sleeping in barns, eating grass, or licking mountains. Instead, you'll be sprinting through a modern city, complete with automobiles to run over, sewers to investigate, and construction cranes to scale. You play as a raccoon in Donut County that is addicted to a phone app that allows him to manage real holes in the ground. Please don't ask us how or why we did it. The premise is that the entire game revolves around taking up nearby homes into your ever-expanding holes. It also has a positive message. When his neighbors complain that the holes have eaten their houses, the raccoon must make amends, save everyone, and restore the town to its former grandeur. The Microsoft Flight Simulator is no laughing matter. It allows you to pilot planes all around the world and fly them. When you experience turbulence, rain, wind, or anything else the world's skies have in store, the physics aspect comes into play. The variety of this game is what makes it so enjoyable. Commercial planes and light one-person planes are both available. You have the option of flying domestically or overseas. On the countryside below, you can see cars, animals, and people. What's more, to cap it all off, it's available in virtual reality. In Half-Life, you'll take on the role of Gordon Freeman, a physicist who works at a research facility where a dimensional rift opens, allowing an alien invasion to commence. You'll spend the most of the game killing monsters and eventually crossing over into the other dimension to stop the creature on the other side from keeping the rift open. The Half-Life games are worth playing, if only for the sake of making video game history. Both titles have been praised as some of the best video games ever made. Octodad is a fantastic father. It's possible that this is the best there has ever been. Even the best fathers, though, face challenges. Octodad, for example, has trouble controlling his cumbersome 8-tentacle legs. In this game, you'll assist Octodad in passing himself off as a human by doing things like making coffee, grocery shopping, mowing the lawn, taking your family to the aquarium, and more. Best of luck. It'll come in handy. When it comes to physics games, Breath of the Wild may not be the first game that comes to mind, but if the shoe fits, wear it. The latest installment in the Legend of Zelda series gives you greater freedom in Hyrule than ever before. You play as Link, an adventurer who travels across his land gaining support from various factions in order to stop Ganon, the big bad guy, and assist Princess Zelda, who has been fending him off with her power for years. You'll have to climb trees for apples, collect wood, flint, and a metal weapon to make fires, prepare your own meals, and avoid climbing in the rain as part of the process. It's a lot more enjoyable than it appears. If you've ever heard of Getting Over It with Bennet Foddy, you're undoubtedly aware that it's a bad movie. You play as a shirtless man stuck in a cauldron with only a very long hammer at his disposal in this game. To win the game, you'll have to bounce yourself all the way up a mountain with that hammer. Your progress in Getting Over It with Bennet Foddy is not saved. It's unfathomably difficult. It's all too easy to make a mistake and put yourself back. But how does it feel when you eventually make it to the top? Unmatched. Without mentioning Portal, no excellent physics game list would be complete. You'll use a pistol to create holes that transport stuff and you across space in these games. These gateways assist you in completing puzzles set before you by an electronic overlord. You could eventually figure out a way to get out of the unending exams, but there's a much tougher obstacle and a darker mystery on the other side.